Yasya jnanadaya sindhoragadhasya naghagunaha sevyatam akshayo dhiraha sashriye chamrataya cha. In this brief lesson I will introduce the sounds of Sanskrit, which are the basic elements of the language as emphasized by traditional Sanskrit grammarians, who tend to explain Sanskrit as the transformation of sounds to express different types of meanings. I shall first of all chant the whole alphabet. A, I, U, R, R, L, L, E, I, O, Au, Aha, Ga, Kha, Ga, Kha, Nga, Cha, Cha, Ja, Jha, Nya, Da, Tha, Da, Dha, Na, Da, Tha, Da, Dha, Na, Pa, Pha, Ba, Bha, Ma, Ya, Ra, La, Va, Sha, Sha, Sa, Ha, Ksha, Nya. The sounds are organized according to certain features of their pronunciation. So the first row here is the vowels, called swaraha in Sanskrit, and here we use our voice and we don't stop it. The vowels have two main lengths, short and long, so a versus a, and also the a is pronounced more closed, a is pronounced more open. Actually, there are three prosodial lengths, three lengths for the vowels. There is short, long, and elongated, but the elongated is somewhat not as common as the short and long. R and R, as well as Lr and Lr, are pronounced rather differently in different parts of South Asia, and I'm following the Sanskrit pronunciation of Tamil Nadu as I have learned it and as I understand it. Lr, strictly speaking, is not long but elongated. It doesn't have a long form, it only has short and elongated. But very often when we pronounce the alphabet, we don't follow this distinction. A can only be long and O can only be long. Therefore, we do not use these signs on top of them as we do for A, E, and O, because we do not need to distinguish between the short and the long form. So it's only for these that we need to distinguish between short and long form, and therefore we use this diacritical sign on top of them. But in case of these four, they're always long. That is quite obvious for I and Au. But for A and O, many languages have short E and short O, but Sanskrit doesn't. Only long A and long O. The next two sounds, and aha, are called Anuswara and Visarga, and they are two modifications of the vowel sound. The Anuswara is a kind of nasalization of a corresponding vowel, and the Visarga is a slight repetition of the vowel sound preceded by a small aspiration. So it's like aha in the case of a, is like ihi in the case of I, uhu in the case of u, etc. Then come the consonant sounds, also called stops, because we do stop the air, and these are pronounced in the context of the alphabet together with the short vowel a, for the sake of pronunciation. They are organized into 5 groups. You can see here 5 rows according to the place of articulation, going from the throat forward to the lips. So the first row is kantyaha, the gutturals, which are formed at the throat. Talavyaha, these are formed at the soft palate, which is the part of the palate which doesn't have bone and which is closer to the throat. Then murdhanyaha, cerebrals or retroflex. These are formed by curling the tongue and make it point upwards and touch upwards, pointing towards the top of the head. Dantyaha are the dentals, so these are formed by touching the teeth. And oshtyaha are labials, and these are formed by using the lips. So you can see that we went from the back towards the front. Now, importantly, we should distinguish between this row and this row. So in some languages, the distinction between cerebrals and dentals is not very strong. In English, we could say that very often what is pronounced is something in between. But in Sanskrit, ta and ta are the 2 possible sounds, not anything in between, and these 2 sounds are very clearly distinguished. So if one is not used to this type of distinction, it's a good exercise to pronounce ta, 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 ta. These 5 rows all work in a similar manner, in the sense that each 5 in each of them, each group of 5 is subdivided in the same manner. So you can see that the first and the third have small aspiration, while the second and the fourth have great aspiration. So they have the same sound differentiated only by aspiration. Ka and ka, ga and ga. So this difference between small aspiration and great aspiration is very marked in Sanskrit. So we should be careful in distinguishing between the sound ka and the sound ka. Some people are not used to consciously produce an aspirated sound. In that case, they can try to divide the sound and pronounce it first as kha and then slowly go to ka. Another important distinction is between unvoiced and voiced. So in case of unvoiced consonants, we do not use our voice until we pronounce the accompanying vowel sound. But in the case of voiced consonants, we employ the voice from the beginning. And again, some speakers, depending from what the native language might be, find it difficult to distinguish between voiced and unvoiced, in which case it is good to exercise in pronouncing ka versus ga. So, ka, ga, ka, ga. In each of these 5 rows, the last is a nasal. So, nga, nya, na, na, and ma. Some people might find it difficult or counterintuitive to distinguish between the 4 forms of na. So nga, nya, na, na, when found in isolation. In that case, you can exercise by creating hypothetical words like anka, and when you try to pronounce a word like anka, you will automatically pronounce the right nga sound. Similarly, if you form the word ancha, you will be pronouncing the right nya sound, and so forth. So this is also an exercise for those who are not used to this kind of distinction. Next we have the antastaha, which means those which stay in between, semi-vowels. Each of them is similar to a certain vowel sound. So ya is similar to I, ra is similar to r, la is similar to lr, and va is similar to u. Then we have the sibilants, or ushmanaha, sha, sha, sa, ha. And here the only difficulty might be in distinguishing sha from sha. But if you remember that sha is a cerebral or retroflex, and therefore curl the tongue backwards, it's very easy to form the sound sha. So the first sound is sha, the next sound is sha. Sha, sha. As for ksha and nya, these two are conjuncts, and there are many other possible conjuncts in Sanskrit, but we normally include these two because their pronunciation differs remarkably in different parts of South Asia. So, for example, they can be pronounced as cha and gya, but in the pronunciation I'm more familiar with, ksha is pronounced as sha with a very faint k before it, and nya is pronounced as a nya with a very faint j right in front of it, which is not fully pronounced. So this is the organization of the Sanskrit alphabet. I will once again recite the whole alphabet. A, I, U, R, R, L, R, E, I, O, Au, Aha, Kakha, Gagha, Nga, Chacha, Jajha, Nya, Tatha, Dadha, Na, Tatha, Dadha, Na, Papha, Babha, Ma, Ya, Ra, La, Va, Shasha, Sa, Ha, Ksha, Jna,